Hey guys, Shashank this side. And as a high ticket closer, I don't consider myself as a salesperson anymore or even a high ticket closer. And the day that this mindset shifted, my results also changed exponentially. Now, just to give you some context, everyone in the high ticket space is teaching you the right scripts. They're giving you the winning scripts. They're giving you the right objection handling lines, the right rebuttals, the sales tactics, the scarcity tactics to be used at the end of the call. That is all good. But early in my journey, I realized that that isn't the main needle mover because of which you will ultimately become good at closing, the top 1%. Now, if you are anybody like me and you know that you have a lot of potential within yourself, right? And you hate being mediocre overall in life. You do not like to be average. If you're doing something, you will give it like your 100% and you will try to become your level best. Why? Because you know you can do that. You just need the right guidance, the right pathway to do that. If that is your mindset, and if you think and operate in that manner, then I am going to share something with you which will actually allow you to change how you view sales and exponentially increase your results. So, the problem overall is if you see yourself as a salesman, you will always and always sound like one. Now, what's the main idea behind this, Shashank? Like, why is it even important to talk about this? Because I'm sure you see a lot of other gurus out there, and of course, I'm not using gurus in a negative terminology. I've learned a lot myself from online gurus, right? Not all the gurus are bad, how people portray them. You can learn anything from everybody, basically. It's just a mindset. So, majority gurus focus on showing you the role plays on objection handling. They show you how to do rebuttals. They show you some hacks, how to manage calendar, all the tactical stuff. But rarely does anybody talk about the identity that you are operating from. Are you talking to the person like a salesperson, or are you talking to them like a decision guide, like an expert? And that is the main difference. To give you a simple analogy, if you have ever worked in any offer, which I'm assuming you must have as a high ticket closer, you'd always see that whenever your business owner or the coach that you're working under, whenever they go and take a call, they might not even be following all the steps of closing. They are not following any techniques or tricks. They are just going and talking to the person, but they still are able to convert better than you. Why is that? That is because of the identity that they carry. That is because they position themselves as the expert. And they don't even have to position themselves. They just know subconsciously they are the expert and the prospect needs their help. But with you as a high ticket closer, that is not the case. Just look at it. You're going on the call right now with the mindset that you need to get the sale, right? That you need to follow the script. You need to ask the right questions. You need to make sure to do objection handling. And that neediness, that energy, that commission breath is what the prospect can feel on the call. That is what differentiates a salesperson from an expert or a decision guide. The salesperson has a very needy energy. They're always chasing. They're almost trying to get approval of the prospect, right? They're being over enthusiastic. They take things too personally. They always kind of are afraid of rejection, the biggest one. And they're emotionally attached to the outcome. And what this leads to is, number one, inconsistency. Number two, a very bad mindset. Number three, a very poor self-esteem, because every sale that you do not close directly hits your self-esteem. Every rejection that you get, you take it too personally. Every rejection you feel like I am not good at this, right? And this overall in turn makes you more needy, more desperate for sales. And that desperation on the sales call can be easily seen by the prospect. Subconsciously, we are able to basically pick up the vibes, right? There are certain people that you might have met. They haven't said anything wrong, but you just do not like them because of their vibes. Your energy does not match with them. And that is exactly what happens on a sales call. Sales is more about how you are saying something and who is saying something rather than what you are saying. Majority people focus on the 20%, right? Instead of focusing on the 80% of who they are and how they are saying the things. And that is what actually differentiates and can make you a top 1% closer. Most closers don't lose because of bad lines, they lose because of bad energy. And just to give you a very simple example, at the highest level, for like example, yesterday's example, I was on a sales call with a very well known person, right? He's a multi-millionaire and he's running a business for quite a long time. Very like a multi-millionaire person. He came to us through a reference. Now in this call I wasn't following, of course I was doing my closing framework, all that jazz, but more than that, the main thing because of which he was sold, because of which he bought from us and is working from us with us, is because of the energy transfer. When you are able to transfer that certainty, that energy on the call, create that vibe, that rapport with the person at the highest level, the high level deals, that is how you crack them. Whether you are working in corporate sales, whether you're closing real estate deals, whatever, all the high level deals always ultimately end up on the energy transfer. And if you can learn how to transfer that energy properly, you will become very good at sales, quite literally. Now the main problem overall over here is, this is a realization, of course, from my personal experience. When I was closing in this business offer, I wasn't the best. You knew my background. If you haven't watched video 1, you can watch that, you'll understand the background. But I wasn't very good. I wasn't the most talkative person. I was introverted and all that, shy and all that jazz, right? I wasn't very confident on calls, and of course I was speaking to people who were way more experienced than me. I was 22 and they were like working professionals with 10 years, 20 years of experience. Some were C-level executives, some were business owners doing 50 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs a month. So, of course, when I went on the call, a 22-year-old, I had that identity cue. I'm 22-year-old, this guy is doing so much money, he's making more, he has more experience. Why would he buy from me? Would he even take me seriously? So when I was operating from that mindset, I wasn't able to perform at my highest level. I was getting some closes, but that was some closes. I wasn't able to become a top performer there. Whereas I used to see other people on my team, and majorly the co-founder of that company, he was like closing like mad. He's the best closer in India, I would say, overall, right? And I used to watch his call recordings. I used to review his calls to learn, okay, what is he doing differently? The questions were entirely same, because of course he was training us directly. He was teaching the same questions to us, nothing different. Just the way he was showing up on the call, that authority, that expert framing, is the main reason because of which people were so certain and they were like ready to buy. They were literally ready to buy, right? They used to just throw money at him. That is what I picked up. Eventually I started working on this identity part of me, because as a closer right now, you have a lot of limiting beliefs. Some of them is, number 1, I am bad at objection handling. Number 2, I'm just 22 years old. People won't take me seriously, especially the business owners who are doing 50 lakhs a month. Why would they take me seriously? Number 3, I'm not the expert at this. I'm just a salesperson, right? Number 4, if a person is making 1 CR, I cannot sell to them. Why? Because I cannot. I don't think I can sell to them. What if they ask me something that I don't know the answer to, right? Next can be, I feel awkward while asking questions. I cannot challenge people. What if I challenge and offend somebody? All of these are like your limiting beliefs, which you need to work upon to become a top 1% closer in the industry. I had all these beliefs. In sales, you have to dig out the pain, right? And I almost used to even feel awkward while asking questions, the pain questions. Why? Because I was like, okay, this is a business call. Why should I ask them these personal questions? But that is where the sale is made. If there is no personal pain on the call, the person won't buy, literally won't buy from you. It might be anybody, but without personal pain, they're not going to buy. And my trainer used to drill that, like, he used to constantly remind that. I logically understood it, but I wasn't able to implement it because the identity, these blocks were basically not allowing me to do that. And that is exactly what's holding you back as well. So overall, now the question is, Shashank, What do I need to do? How can I solve this? Right? What you need to do in simple words, of course, it's not a simple process. It's not like a magic wand that I can give you and it'll solve, but you need to start working on your identity. You need to start upgrading yourself. Obvious question, Shashank, what is an identity? You have been using this word, but I am still not sure about the definition, right? The definition is pretty simple of identity. If I ask you right now, hey, you watching this video, who are you? You will have a set of explanation, right? I am Shashank, I am 24 years old, I live over here, I am doing this, I have done that, XYZ. So exactly, that is your identity. How you perceive yourself is your self-image slash your identity. If you perceive yourself as a business owner, that is your identity. If you perceive yourself, let's say, as a high ticket closer, that's your identity. If you perceive you have your, all the beliefs that you hold, all the past experiences, all the ideologies, everything combined together builds your identity. That is what you need to work upon. Now the question is, Shashank, why is that even important? Like, is it really such a big thing, or are you just like trying to, put me into these mindset things, and eventually I'll just get lost in this and I'll stop focusing on the tactics? I think tactics are important, Shashank, not the mindset. I used to think this way myself. Eventually, I realized that was the biggest mistake. Why? Because the very logical explanation to this is all the decisions that you make in life are determined by your identity. If your identity doesn't allow you to take a decision, you would never take that. Simple example. If you have you have a part of your identity that believes that you are bad at objection handling, no matter how many sales tactics you learn, no matter how many hours of training you put in, until and unless that belief is changed, you won't be able to do objection handling. And every time after learning you try objection handling and you fail at it, you repeat to yourself that I'm bad at this, and that identity solidifies even more. Another example, you must have seen Kaun Banega Karodpati, KBC. A lot of these people win lotteries, 1 crore, 5 crore, all that jazz, right? Go on the news right now, go on Google and search what happens to majority of these people who were poor before, they won on a jackpot, lottery, 5 crores in KBC, whatever. What happens to that money? Are they able to actually sustain that, or do they become poor again? Majority of them become poor again. Why? Because they have the identity of a poor person. They want money, don't get me wrong, they want money, but they don't believe that they are worth that money. And when suddenly life gives them 5 crore rupees, they spend it all because they do not have that identity to sustain that money. They believe they are a poor person, they operate like a poor person. After getting that money, they come back to that situation, that reality. You might have seen in your schools and colleges, there are certain people, there are certain friends that you look up to. They're just very confident overall in themselves. They're too comfortable with themselves. The way they talk, speak, charisma, right? They believe themselves to be that. And that is why they are able to attract all the positive situations around them. They are the most popular kids in the colleges or schools. And you used to think, like, what is different in this guy? Their identity. Now, because of some childhood experience, they took up that identity that they are charismatic, they are very confident, they are very good at speaking with people. And that is what results, that's the kind of results they get in the environment. Whereas you in your childhood took some other beliefs. You took that I am shy, I am introverted, and that is what you basically attract now. This is not manifestation, this is direct science. Who you are is exactly what you will get. So start working on your identity, improve your identity, and become a high ticket closer. Like, really understand that you are an expert. Why? Because a simple mindset hack that I did is, I've spoken to, in whatever offer you are in, you have spoken to almost 200 to 300 people in that exact same offer, facing the same challenges, and you have the solution, and your company have already solved and changed a lot of lives. So quite literally, you are an expert in that offer. Why? Because you know exactly what challenges your prospect is facing. even without them saying it. You know exactly what's happening because of those challenges in their life. You know exactly how to help them and solve their challenges. If you know all these things, then you should get that inner confidence and you should sit like an expert, like a doctor on the call, instead of a salesperson and being needy. Just relax, sit back, view yourself as an expert, start doing that practice. And if you do not know any of these things, start improving your product knowledge, understand your market score challenges, 3 to 5 challenges, just master everything around those challenges. That is exactly how I was able to convert myself and become a top 1% closer in that business offer. As a 22-year-old, I was selling to now these people who are doing 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 lakhs a month. Working professionals with 20 years of experience who were leading teams of 300 people. I was able to close them in a single call and take 2 lakh rupees on the call itself because of this identity shift that I had. So, high ticket sales overall is not persuasion, it's leadership. And if you become a decision guide, scripts will become your tools and not crutches. And that is what you need to overall understand. So, now if you are tired of sounding desperate on your sales calls and you want to command respect on calls, this channel will help you to do the same, right? So in the next video, I'll come up and show you why scripts actually hurt high ticket sales. So just subscribe to the channel if you're ready to stop being a salesman, a high ticket closer, and you're ready to become an expert, a sales operator. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.